Welcome, everybody, to episode 254 of WordPress Weekly for Wednesday, November 16th, 2016. I'm your host, Jeff Chandler, joined by Marcus Couch, who is coming to me remotely this evening from somewhere.
The bunker. That's right. So hopefully the connection holds. I'm hoping that it lasts the entire show.
But nice to...
I did do a speed test, by the way, and I've got a whopping 1 megabit.
Well, that's premium service, right?
Yeah, that's for $5.
All right. Well, hopefully we'll have to see how this how the connection holds up. But
yeah, so far so good.
So far so good. So it's going to be a short show. Really hasn't been too much happening, but there are a couple of stories that really need to hammer out, including a big one regarding WordCamp US 2017 and 18. We'll get into that in a little bit. But first off, WordPress 4.7 Beta 4 was released earlier, actually today. So the testers out there, upload, test out, try out Beta 4. According to the release post, there's been about 60 changes made in the last few days. Any of those could probably include bug fixes or tweaks, but there's some tweaks to 2017. That's the new default theme that's coming up for 4.7. Some custom CSS, REST API, content endpoints, things of that nature. And, I've been, I want to send a shout out to, I don't know if they listen to the show, but anyone out there who's part of the core team or contributor that I really appreciate these detailed posts that have been showing up on the Make Core blog. Just do a Google search, or listeners out there could do a Google search for Make Core WordPress. And generally it should be in the first couple of results, but the team and the people behind some of these major features have been writing these or publishing these detailed posts about how the feature came to be, the iterations of it, and why it was implemented in Core. And as someone who translates this information to our users, to our readers on WP Tavern, I really appreciate how detailed they've been. So thank you for doing that. And there's so much coming in WordPress 4.7. It's one of those, rare releases, at least recently, where I feel like if there's nothing in WordPress 4.7 that you're happy about or that you can get excited about, then there's potentially no hope for you, because there's just there's a lot of cool stuff in here. Whether you're a developer or user, there's probably going to be something in here that really enhances your productivity in WordPress.
There's the ton. And I have not unwrapped that package yet, but as soon as RC1 comes out, that's when I'm going to dig into it, because I don't want to play in the sandbox if it's already being, it's still being built.
Right.
So I know they're not doing much with the media library. We're not going to get off on that tangent again, but I'm sure that'll be 4.8, or maybe they're saving it to 5.0. Who knows?
And
it'll be out next year. 5.0 will be out 1 year from now.
That's right. So this past weekend, there was actually a security vulnerability reported in WP Commerce, but they patched it up. So they released version 3.11.4. And what this does is it patches an SQL injection vulnerability. So last Friday, Mika Epstein, who's a member of the WordPress.org plugin review team, someone we've had on the show before, one of our best episodes that we've recently done, she responsibly disclosed a security vulnerability to the team over at WP Commerce. And what they've done is they took that vulnerability, they patched it within the hour of getting the report, and the update was available on WordPress.org the following day. Now, even though they're highly recommending users update, I'll say that the vulnerability only affects users who use eWay as their payment gateway, have Gold Cart activated, and are using the as of yet unreleased Theme Engine 2.0. So in terms of affected users, it's probably slim to none. However, it's still just a good practice to update so your site's protected from this vulnerability. And WP Commerce, I'm going to have to get the folks from WP Commerce on the show, because I'd just like to hear their thoughts on what they're doing in the e-commerce space. I mean, we hear about WooCommerce all the time now because of the acquisition. I mean, they're number one. They've got the most market share, but WP e-commerce has been around since 2006. It's one of the oldest plugins in the WordPress plugin directory, and they have it's actively installed on more than 40,000 sites. But I think it'd be cool just to have them on and talk about just the longevity, the landscape, and what they're doing, and to make e-commerce easier for everyone, and how it's right now it seems to be a high priority for a lot of people. And it'd also be nice to get their take on what the acquisition of WooCommerce by Automattic means to them, and what they've been doing to sort of stay what they're doing with their market share. So
yeah,
we're going to work on that.
I wonder.
So Upvato, geez, I can't remember. I know it was earlier this year. We talked a bit about Upvato, and what this was is a backup service for what does it say? Well, I guess theme sellers, people who sell items on Envato. It would allow you. It would take your files and put them on a backup service. They, I guess, ironically, the service actually permanently lost all the files that it was storing on its system due to termination of the service provider that was providing the backup storage. Now, apparently, from the story, the creator, Freddie Ludkikvam, there we go with the names again, said that he received 2 emails, but it was at a point where he wasn't able to spend as much time as he could online. And apparently, from not responding to those emails, the provider simply just terminated his account, which removed all the files, including the backups of those files. So, I mean, everything was completely lost. We don't know which service provider it was. I know when we originally interviewed him earlier this year, he mentioned Amazon Glacier as an example of how cheap storage space can be, but Amazon was not one of the providers due to the fact that it was just it took too much in order to get it to work exactly the way they wanted. So, with that said, Freddie plans to relaunch the service with an improved version that allows users to define a backup destination. So now you don't have to entrust just that site for your Envato files. You can now choose where you could host them. But we'll have to see how this pans out. It's going to be hard to regain user trust. I mean, I know the service is free. But man, it just when you're backing up people's files and then your service goes down and then all the backups are toast, it like that's I don't know if
you can't just
fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, I don't know. We'll see.
You know something, and hearing you talk about this, it's funny because sometimes, as you know, these shows sort of kind of blur together. Like you realize we talked to somebody on the show and then we talked to them again and they're like, yeah, we haven't talked in 3 years. It's weird, but it's like after I remember Upvato being announced on this show and now we're talking about it.
Well,
which is weird.
It went away, but it's going to be coming back.
Yeah. Well, I know, but maybe when these new services come up, let's you and I have a side death pool.
Oh, geez.
Like a Deadpool, and we'll try to guess how long they last.
Oh man,
come on!
that sounds like we're rooting for failure or something. I don't know. So.
No, I mean, hey, some people would kill to have 6 months in business. Who knows?
Who knows? So on the article, a number of commenters suspected the service of fraud and things of that nature, but Freddie says that it's entirely up to the user if they want to give us a second chance or not, which he's correct. So we'll have to see. The service is going to remain completely free. He's going to bring it back up online, and we'll see what happens.
Don't get your money back. But, no money back.
Yeah, so there you go.
He's keeping it.
No, he didn't. He didn't take any money from anyone. It was free. So no money lost.
Good.
And let's see. This is a big announcement that came out yesterday. In fact, and
I missed it. It's the first I've heard of it.
Yeah. So, Nashville, Tennessee, will host WordCamp US 2017 and 2018. So how about
Nice.
that?
That's good.
It's a little bit closer to the center of the U.S.
I'll go there. That's great.
So in about 2 weeks, we'll be having.
How about, is it still going to be in December?
Well, I'll tell you this. Before we get to that, yesterday when the news first came out, there were no dates announced to go along with the announcement. Only that it was going to take place in 2017 and 18 in Nashville, Tennessee. And I went out on Twitter and I said, hey, maybe somehow, some way, we can have this event either in late September or October. That seems like a really great time of year to have a conference, especially in that part of the country. And I wasn't too surprised by the feedback and response I received from that tweet, where a lot of people agreed with me and said, yeah, just any month besides December and November, please. That's the prime time holiday portion of the year.
No kidding.
People were busy. And it comes to find out today that the event will take place December, or let's see. The venue has been reserved from Thursday, November 30th to Sunday, December 3rd, but the camp will take place between Friday and Sunday. So we're back to having
the week after Thanksgiving.
Yep, we're back to this again. So
give me a break.
So I don't know. It's kind of a downer there. But it's going to be held at the Music City Center venue. And apparently this place can hold anywhere between 3,000 and 5,000 attendees. So that's cool. And we found out that Denver was one of the finalists to host WordCamp US. And who knows, for whatever reasons, why Denver was not chosen. But
not venue.
That would have been nice. As we actually, I should say that Drew James, who was one of the organizers who applied, he lives out there, Denver, sort of local to his area, said that in a quote, he told the tavern that there was what I consider to be a semi-fanatical obsession with the first weekend in December, which was flatly unavailable at the convention center here. And he says, to give you some perspective, at the time that he applied, which was in March of this year, there were only 2 available weekends left for the Colorado Convention Center, 2 in all of 2017. So that kind of gives you a perspective of how these event centers
what were those weekends
this far in advance.
What were those weekends? December 2nd?
The end of August and the middle of December. So there you go.
August.
Like you said, there seems to be this, now that things have been sort of set with WordCamp Philadelphia, they kind of want it to be the first weekend in December. So, I mean, that's what he was saying. So he was kind of.
It wasn't that when it was in San Francisco.
So, yeah, I don't know. But there's definitely, there's definitely something to be said here that perhaps for in the future, maybe they could be a bit flexible here with the dates and not have to be tied to the beginning of December for the rest of eternity when it comes to WordCamp US. And it would give cities more of an opportunity to apply and be in the running instead of just picking cities that only have venues that large in the first weekend of December.
Yeah. I know. It seems weird, but hopefully, I bet you there's going to be some nice after parties and stuff going on in Nashville, even though it's going to be in December or whatever, the weekend after Thanksgiving.
So Nashville is it's a pretty nice. I've never been to Nashville actually, so I'm looking forward to that. And the city won the bid to host a WordCamp out of 6 applicants. Of course, Denver was one of those. I'm not sure who the other 4 were. And he says that I know Matt Mullenweg said in his announcement post that based on these applications, it looks like there are multiple communities out there who are fully capable of running the event. So he's looking forward to having it switch between cities in the U.S. In the future. So there you go. Anyone wanting to know when the next huge WordCamp US is, it's going to be in Nashville, Tennessee, December, in the first weekend of December, right after Thanksgiving, just like this year, 2017 and 2018. So there you go.
Now, I want to bring something to light. There are a lot of industry places out there that hold regular year or twice a year, and then they do road shows where they travel around on they have one track and like 2 or 3 speakers, and they just go from town to town every weekend. That's kind of a concept that might imagine Pressnomics, but going to 5 venues throughout the country, and you just pick the closest one to you.
Yeah, I mean that's something worth. But then again, we have WordCamps, which
I got it. I understand.
US is kind of some.
But the tracks are so mixed,
right?
What if it was a specialized track that was just traveling around?
Instead of
something we're thinking about.
You have a traveling WordCamp.
That's right. Something like that. Yeah, you get a nice parade with a WAPU in the front.
So being Nashville, Tennessee, it's not central U.S., but it's definitely closer to the central U.S. and the West Coast than Philadelphia. So hopefully flights are cheaper and Nashville is a bit more accessible for those out west. I'm looking forward to it.
It might be. Yeah, that'll be fun.
So that about wraps it up for the biggest headlines of the week. And that leads us into our plugin picks of the week, which I'm looking forward to the third one you have here in light of what's going on here in the U.S.
Okay, so here we go. Here's the plugin picks of the week. And the first one is called Show Featured Image Size in Admin Top Bar. And what's pretty cool about this is if you're on a specific post and there's a featured image in it, it will tell you what the size of it is rather than having to check. So if you're trying to look and see what the alignment of something should be, or if it's zooming in too much or whatever, this is a handy kind of first glance tool that you can install that will take a look at that. So it's called Show Featured Image Size in Admin Top Bar. Kind of a long name, but it works. The second one, very intriguing, WPMQ. It connects WordPress to these. So use this plugin to automatically send those MQTT messages when something happens on your website. Now, I don't know if this means that you can, pour a beer out of your fridge, or says order some beer on Amazon or wherever you deliver it from. I don't know what it does, but I don't have anything that's Internet of Things compatible yet. Do you, Jeff?
No, I haven't messed with that stuff yet.
Yeah. So if you've got it, try this out, see what it does, and let us know. And finally, Jeff, you know how much we love that Hello Dolly plugin that Matt invented years and years ago. Well, we're going to make that plugin great again with Hello Trumpy. It symbolizes the hopes, failures, celebrations, and lamentations of an entire globe. So the election of Donald Trump just happened. He's now the 45th president of the United States. So whether good or bad, it's yet to be seen. But we've celebrated here with this fabulous Donald Trump called Hello Trumpy. And those are my plug-in picks of the week. making the segment great again.
Man, so there's actually some pretty decent quotes in here. Like, my whole life is about winning. I don't lose often. I almost never lose. Or I love the poorly educated. Or, well, there's some stuff in here that it's completely relatable to Trump and some of the things he said in the media over the past year or so. So it's
pretty safe. There's nothing vulgar about it. It's safe for work.
Hello Trumpy. How about that? So that's the plugin picks of the week, and that's going to do it for this episode of WordPress Weekly. And so next week is Thanksgiving week, but I think, Marcus, you and I will be doing the show next Wednesday. I don't have any plans, so we'll do a Thanksgiving-themed WordPress Weekly, where we'll share a couple of things that we're thankful for, something that we do every year here on the show. And that's about it. And then we'll dive into some good old-fashioned Thanksgiving food that week. And then the week after that is I will be traveling. I will be on my way to Philadelphia, as that will be the week of WordCamp US. Boy, I'm looking forward to that. That'll be a good time. And that will be in December. Next thing you know, we'll be doing a wrap-up show. So there we go. So you can find, whoa, what's that? That sounds like my dog.
Did we do a prediction show? Yeah, the Vestie's up. Did we do a prediction show at the end of last year or the beginning of this year?
I can't remember. I know we covered
roll
some
back
news
the time
stories.
machine.
I know in 2 episodes we covered pretty much highlights of news stories and we reminisced about things, but I don't know if we did predictions.
Yeah. Okay, well, we got to do it this year. Like what's
All right.
coming in WordPress up to 5.0.
Yeah, we could do 2 or 3 predictions. See how good we are.
Okay, let's test our aim.
All right.
And we're going to start the startup Deadpool too. It's a must.
So that's going to do it for this week's edition of WordPress Weekly. You can find show notes for this episode and all previous episodes on WPTavern.com. And you can follow me on Twitter at Jeffro. That's JEFFR0 on Marcus.
You can find me at my website, marcuscouch.com, on Twitch. And hey, guys, don't forget, I am going to be speaking in January in Las Vegas at Affiliate Summit West, so get your tickets for that.
Awesome. So there you have it. So everybody enjoy the rest of the week. Enjoy the weekend. And we'll talk to you again next Wednesday evening. Bye-bye.